Hey!
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 What it do, Heyyyy Nation?
As you guys can see by the title of this video,
we are going to be talking about Lobola in Korea and how we actually went about this stressful but actually quite fun journey.
Yeah, it was definitely a different situation, and people have been asking us a lot. I think in the proposal video that we did,
If you haven't seen that, it's up here.
yeah, we spoke about that. I was kind of expecting it because we had already done the Lobola part.
Yeah.
So people were like, how? So yeah, that's what this video is about.
So I think, should I just kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll kick it off for you. So I think for me, because I'll tell you guys what actually like triggered this thought. When you've been dating somebody for quite a long time, obviously you want to spend the rest of your life with them when you reach like a certain point. And for me, I had just reached a point in my life where it's like, I'm tired of calling this girl my girlfriend. Like, nah, bro, nah. And it just dawned on me like, look, I'm at an age where I feel like I am ready to actually take this relationship to the next level. And actually, wife her. Who wouldn't wife this, And yeah, man, like, all the feelings that I had about her just reassured my decision even more. And I'm not even gonna try and downplay this. The finances also played a huge role where I was like, I'm at this point financially, mentally, emotionally, all the alleys, and I felt ready to actually take this scary but fun step.
I feel like we would speak about it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm surprised, like, which brings me to the question people always ask, like, how do you know? Like, and we always like, or people say, when you know,
you know.
but you don't know. For me personally, I don't think you know like first day.
Yeah.
Obviously. When did you know, like, oh, I know I'm marrying this girl?
I think it was somewhere like the first year when we were still dating.
Wow.
I guess guys, we know. How will they know? They'll never know.
I would say I think that's true, because when, like, our 1 year anniversary, you gave me the promise ring. So, and you promised to marry me. Well, shout out for following through.
Follow through.
Where did I know? I think also, like, once you gave me the promise ring, that's when I was like, hey, I can't do this one is serious. Because, people will say, oh, I'm going to marry you.
Yeah.
But when you actually gave me the promise ring and you said, okay, then I was like, But with that being said, I still didn't think you'd ask me to be your wife, like, until like 30 or whenever we go back home. Like, I always, like, in my head, I was like, oh, we're just here in Korea, and once we go back home, somewhere
it'll happen.
Yeah.
That was the initial plan, because for me, I had actually wanted to like do all of this round about January, February, when we'd be able to go back home and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, like, send the letter beforehand so that when we land, everything is set. Like, in my mind, in a perfect world, everything would have been done back home. But because of COVID, we couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And the next best thing was, how about we do the negotiations from here?
Which we didn't even think was possible.
Yeah. Because I think on my front, right? Because obviously I have to, initiate all of this. I legit didn't know where to start. I spoke to my cousins, I spoke to my uncle, because they actually got married, or they did the whole Mahadi situation during COVID, during lockdown even, And obviously, like, like when you're on like social media and stuff, you see people like posting memes about, what happens on like
WhatsApp or Zoom.
They're like, nah, they muted until like the money reflects properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were like, look, man, for them, they actually went in person because they were still in the country. And they still advised me, like, you can still do it, but we don't know how it'll pan out. And that actually didn't like really answer like most of the questions that I was asking.
Yeah.
But I still had that thing of, you know what, let me just continue. So I basically continued doing my research because like her family's traditional, right?
Well, my family.
Yeah. Her
I thought you said, well, she's Miss Traditional.
No. Like her family is quite traditional, and I didn't want to do anything that is gonna be like disrespectful, you know. I didn't want to start things off the wrong foot.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting, guys. In the comment down, as you're watching, please let us know what do you think is the right thing to do, like lobola first and then the Western proposal, or the proposal first and then the lobola, because some people do it one way or the other. So yeah, I guess if I was a guy, I'd also be stressing, like, what do I do first?
Because like with the whole white wedding part, with the proposal, like you're not going down on one knee, you want her to be surprised, right? But with the whole lobola situation, it's like, I know you're gonna propose, it's just a matter of like when. How, and that's just added stress. But yeah, comment down below what you think should come first, you know. But yeah, back to topic. After like speaking to like cousins, family, I spoke to one of my friends who's pair, because like I think his family is also like traditional and stuff, and I just wanted to get his input. And like he also advised like, nah, I think you should. But luckily for me, on that day we actually linked up with him, another gent was there, and he was like, bruh, speak to this man, he will give you all the information. I'm like, I fed. Spoke to him. I've never seen a grown man light up the way he did at the whole idea of another dude getting married. Like, that was super nice. That was like super nice. And then he was like, listen, how it happened for him, he actually went through the whole negotiations with his girl whilst they were both in Korea. And that gave me that little push of like, dude, if they are both here
and
we're both here and they legit went through what I want to go through and like it went off without a hitch, I could also do it. So yeah, after that conversation, I think I brought it up with my dad, you know, and yeah, homeboy was super happy, you know. Still remember the words, I'm proud of you, like, you know. And yeah, man, like I spoke to my dad, and then like he basically said he speaks to my uncle, and then like he'll get back to me within a couple of weeks and stuff. But yeah, that's that little push of actually like talking to friends, family, doing my research on all of this actually helped, and it made it it gave me the reassurance that this is possible to be done whilst we are abroad.
But what did your dad say? Did he say, are you coming back? Are you gonna do it on like what?
I think like during that whole conversation, right? For us, it was that whole thing of like, okay, sharp, you guys are now there.
Yeah.
How's this gonna work?
Yeah.
You know.
I guess like literally no one knew.
Yeah, no one knew. Like he did ask me like, are you guys gonna come back? How do you want us to go forward? And then like, I basically told him like, I think we can do it like online. Like, I don't know. And my dad is very he's wired into the now. So like him and technology, it's like this. You know what I'm saying? So he also like proposed the whole thing of like, look, the family can go on your behalf. You guys can just be in Korea. You don't actually have to be there. In his opinion, he was like, no, in my opinion, we don't need you guys there. So we can literally do everything on your behalf this side, you know. And I was just like, dude, great. You know, like he gave me that assurance as well. Like, look, this is a big step. I'll make sure that this happens for you, you know.
Were you scared to tell him?
Nah, I wasn't scared. I think more than anything, I just didn't want to come with like a half idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm thinking of this. I legit told him like, look, this is what I want to do. and he was like super happy because like already my family loves her, you know, and I've been telling her this all the time. My family loves her more than they love me at this point. You know it's true. But you know what? That's not the point. But like yeah, like he gave me like solid advice. You know, like he gave me solid advice, and when he spoke to my uncle, also I got advice from my uncle as well, where he was like, "Nah, listen, tell her this is what you want to do, and basically ask her, we have home.
Oh, but then before you asked me, like, what was going through your head? Like, were you then nervous? And I know with your dad you weren't.
Also, like with you.
Do you think I was gonna say no?
A little bit, like that one, like a little, like you know, like
room for disappointment.
You know, like it was basically like 99.9. It's like yeah, it's different, yes, but that's 0.1. I was like, okay, let me just leave this little window. I don't know how, but yeah, like I was nervous. Like if anybody knows me, I don't go straight to the point.
Yep.
You know, like I beat around the bush. You know, like I want you to pick up what I'm putting down.
Yep.
Okay, the yeps aren't helping. So like I remember with that we were watching something, and in normal dramatic fashion I was like, yo, let me pause this. I gotta talk to you about something.
Which is weird because
he's the serious one.
I'm the can we talk?
Yeah.
You know? Thendo would never, like, he'll probably text it, but he won't, like, in the moment, like, hey, I need to talk to you, can we sit down and talk? I'm the one who does it. So when he, like, paused the whatever we were watching, and he was like, oh, can we talk? I need to talk to you about something. And then you stood up. Yeah, like, I was, like, on the bed, and he stood up, and I guess, what were you saying? Yeah, you're just going around the bush at first, like, you know. I guess to me, I'd say that was the initial proposal.
Yeah, so basically,
like that's how you proposed.
Yeah, so to answer you, what was going through my head, like I was nervous. You know, like when you have nerves, excitement, butterflies, bruh. And I don't take a lot of things seriously. You know, like I'm very playful, but with this, I legit wanted to show like this is not one of those little gimmicks where I be telling you like, yo, wanna marry you, like this was legit me telling
I
her.
really thought it was that because he was like, you know, the normal, we've been together for a while and I think you know I want to marry you. I was like, yeah, and then I think you eventually when you finally said, you were like, so I want to send a letter to your family. And I was, and then you said I want to marry you and we have room. And I was like, I thought like, yeah, Lala. So I was like, oh yeah. And then.
So wait, Udumela wa how? Was that a play Dumela?
No, you said that and then I said yes.
Yeah.
And then you said, I want to send the letter to your family. And I think still it hadn't registered. I was like, oh, when? Like I thought it's like in 5 years. And you're like, next week. I was like, I think you said today or like tomorrow, like whenever, basically.
Like soon, basically soon.
And I said, how soon? And you're like, next week. I was like, hey, next week.
We're not here to play, dog. We're not here to play.
But the proposal part of it, of what you were saying, why? Because I mean, I did ask questions. For me, I needed to know that we were on the same page.
Sometimes people just faint, you know, like just faint, like scream, you know, like jump.
But you know I'm logical.
You know what I'm saying?
So at first time I had the same concerns. We'd see how, like we can't go home, and you already did your research. So like I know I spoke to this guy. I know it's possible we can do it online.
Spoke
and
to
I
my
said,
parents, you know what I'm saying?
My parents, my dad is on board, and I asked are you sure?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, I'm sure.
100, bro.
And yeah, I asked whatever questions I wanted to ask Uti, you know, if I say yes, what part of our relationship is changing? Like, am I now supposed to cook Monday to Sunday? And
I wouldn't mind. I
you know, I don't want to
mind.
agree to terms that I don't. I just needed to know what does marriage mean to you?
Yeah.
And it turned out it was just the same. What we've been doing as we're dating, just now with added family. And I was like, okay, let's go. And then on my end, then this was February, ne?
Yes.
So January, my grandfather just passed, and then like February, they were still doing. Also, my grandmother bekasazilile, and it was just like a lot of things happening at my house.
Actually, babe, that's January before.
Was it?
It was before. Because I remember we then I had to tell my parents, like, listen, this is what happened. The grandfather passed on, so we're gonna have to wait a bit longer for a response.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was before.
Yeah, so I guess then, but my grandfather then passed, and then first I told my mom, and my mom was, I guess, like me, asking the questions like, are you guys sure how you gonna do it?
Again,
are you gonna come back?
Scream, guys, faint. Okay.
Yeah, my mom was really, and then she said she'd talk to my dad. Spoke to my dad, and then the decision was made. It's okay, cool, we can do this online. But then my grandfather passed, and then my grandmother needed to wait a time period to kind of, and then we just waited. And then I guess only in April
17th of April 2021 to be exact.
My family gave them that date.
Yeah.
Like, when can they bring the letter? Yeah.
And I mean like, I actually thought like this whole process wouldn't be as stressful and nerve-wracking as it would be, right? Because on my end, obviously, I had to assemble what I would consider the Avengers in the family, people who would be representing us. So on my end, spoke to my dad, and he basically assembled the Avengers. Obviously, they'll just tell me look, we have this person. So it was family from both sides of the family, from my dad's side, my mom's side, and I was, and I still am, quite happy about who they chose, because yo man, I feel like they represented me quite well.
Yeah, so same. Then my family also, it's definitely not Avengers. They just came together, but then, like I said, my grandfather passed, but I was really happy that my grandmother was part of the process, fully part of the process, giving opinions, giving me advice, and so I guess then after your uncle brought the letter, my family read the letter, and they were supposed to give you a date as to when they should come.
Yeah.
And that was on the 17th.
April.
Yeah. 17th of April. That was the day, which is wild because we were together, ne? And we're in South Africa on that day. We wouldn't be together, so that is also a weird part of it. And because South Africa, the time zone is different.
Yeah.
They were going to my house at 8 or 9.
I think it was 9.
And for us, that's already
4 p.m.
So the whole day, speaking this card.
People woke up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
And we waited until 5 o'clock trying to, and there's different customs that happen with different families. But I know for a fact that my family also does that whole thing where the brides come out, and a few cousins, and then his family have to pick and my mom was like, how are we gonna do that, and then we came up with the idea, my family members, my mom is gonna print out A4 photos of me and my cousins, and then they basically going to have to choose from the pictures. And my mom said I should send a picture where my dreads weren't really showing, because she felt like that's a giveaway, but they still did the whole game thing, right, where they took out the photos without mine, and they had to choose that one of his uncles that was there with the night
we met.
knows me. So I guess at some points they were like, bruh, pick. And he could tell that I wasn't there, and then they brought up my photo eventually. They picked me.
Yes, this one.
We telling you guys this stuff, and that's past. But then after that, everything went well. Well, I guess it was kind of weird because, like I said, we're together.
I'd be getting calls from my dad like 2 hours, like, yo, this is happening. What do you think? So I would literally be
like, go outside,
getting up, walk, and like I legit walked away from the door.
And like he goes and talks and then comes back, and then it's awkward because like I don't want to ask. What did that say? So we just play like whatever we're watching, but it's like, yo. But the negotiations went on for like 4 hours. Prices going up and down, whatever. Eventually they came to an agreement, and then they video called us, and that's the point where we felt like,
finally.
How are we not there though? You know?
I mean, yo, honestly, like seeing everybody so happy, you know, dancing, singing.
As we talking now, we're just gonna put like up, you'll see the food, the families, and the most important part of that video for me, the videos that I got, was my grandmother. You know, my grandmother, as you guys may or may not know, she's late now, but she was there, and there's this video where she basically thanks your family for marrying me, I guess, for taking me, but she was also sad that like I'm the first kind of grandchild that lived with them. So yeah, this clip is,
it's the one.
It's beautiful.
It's the one, you know.
And then our aunts started to dance. Thendo's aunt, my aunt even took that picture that they were like showing, or like asking them like, which one is she? It's actually hanging at home. Yeah. The food looked good. What else happened? Yeah, they just called us, sent us a lot of photos. They took photos together. And then they went to Thendo's house for more celebration. At my house, they also stayed. And that's when we were like, we wish we were there. You know, I mean, for me, I feel like I missed that because I was wearing sweatpants. But we did like have a fun dance. I remember we just danced to that song.
No, it's not that one.
What do you mean? I can prove it to you.
It was Musa Keys.
Girl, boy.
Vulamlom.
Don't play.
I tell you.
I know that day more than you do, then clearly.
Next I showed it, by the way, ne?
And this is 6:30, so it was official.
Alright, cool. I'm cutting it out either way.
No. What do you mean?
Alright, cool.
Yeah, we're dancing. It was fun, but we felt the void of damn, you know.
We're all the way here.
And badly Lizela. I remember when I called, they were like, I was just like, oh gosh, I wish I was there. Yeah, and then the families, I guess, were one, and
yeah, I mean, they got along quite well according to what my aunt told me, because like she really had nothing but good things to say about her side of the family, like about how they welcomed her and everybody else.
So yeah, guys, that was our experience. It wasn't the ideal experience we would have wanted for ourselves, but we do, you know, are grateful that it was possible. I mean, I feel like, you know, our parents could have been like, you guys are crazy.
Y'all gotta wait.
You know, you guys gotta wait. But I'm glad that it happened. So now we're just gonna go into the last segment, which is basically what advice do we have with people that are thinking of doing this? Maybe you live abroad or you live in South Africa and maybe there's a lockdown or whatever. What advice do we have? What advice do you have?
For me, right? This is how I did it. I did it in one go. So if you can, and if the family does not oppose, because I know like some families, they would think of it as disrespectful
Yeah.
if you try to do it like in one go. But I was more comfortable of doing it in one go.
Yeah.
And because like I think it basically like alleviates all the stress of like ish, and now I gotta go back, make sure that I still have enough money to do 1, 2, 3.
But also I think experience helps. I'm saying this because my dad and your dad, respectively, in the families are known as Labo Malume that go and speak of on everyone's behalf. So they've married so many people that they know all these type of situations. You can go once, you don't have to go twice. They have different ideas of some. You know, my dad was telling me, no, I've done this here, same as your dad has experience. So having experience, I guess they can advise. Yeah.
So basically, like, in a whole nutshell, right, included in that of doing it like in one shot, basically have more than enough money. You know how they'll tell you like, now budget X amount, go above that, so that negotiations won't exactly hit your max. It might go above that. And you don't want to be there like ish, okay, take this. Okay, you can say take this, we'll come back later on. But I guess for me, for peace of mind, I had extra, and I just knew like, okay, look, if they want less than this, great. If they want more, great.
And also your family was known as they always win, like they always get the price they want. But after the whole negotiations, they were telling him, Uguti, my family is the most stubborn family.
Not stubborn, just difficult negotiations. We love you.
I mean, they know what stubborn is. They didn't want to change. So eventually they were just like, wow, like we've never met almost like our match.
Strong-willed, you know. So because either way, I was still cool even throughout the whole conversation.
So I was saying this in a sense of, just because your family, you know, they've done this so many times, even if they say, no maranjan, this is our price, you don't know the other side. That's why you must always like budget more, because you really don't know if you get stubborn people. And that's why some people even walk away and come back to negotiate another time, because you guys are just not coming to an agreement. So I'm glad that our families finally came together. So another advice I would give is that COVID doesn't seem like it's something that's going away. So don't live your life waiting for COVID to stop. Clearly it's not happening. I mean, the last year maybe, because we didn't know what was happening. But now that we're getting vaccinated and stuff, I think this is life for now. We don't know what's going to happen, so we just carried on with life. And if this is an option for you, whether it's a Zoom wedding or whatever, go for it,
man.
Like,
don't stop life because of this virus. I mean, life doesn't stop because of it. You know, like things are still going on, and if your intentions are to marry somebody, bro, do it.
Don't work around COVID.
Like just do it, like, you know, but just be sure that this is something that you want to do. Because I think that was one of the questions I was asked, like, are you sure?
Me too.
You know?
Like my mom's like, are you sure?
And don't be offended if they ask, hey, is she pregnant? You know, because like, you know, some people want to jump into marriage because of that.
Our families were asking, like,
because like on top of that, we were like rushing them for like a date and stuff.
Because like I said, Thendo already asked me this in Jan or February, and my family only got back in April. Like this only happened in April, so I was like, guys, because Tendo's family was also like, what is Palesa's family saying? And then I must be like, what are you guys saying? They're like, oh, you know, this happened, and
so they thought we were hiding a little bun. But there's no bun.
I am not pregnant.
There's no bun.
But
that's funny. Man.
Forgot about that.
But like, I guess that's the end of this video. Please comment down below your thoughts and your opinions. If you like this video, hit that like button over there, show us some love. Also tell us if it's something you would do. Like, would you rather do it online during lockdown, or would you rather postpone? You want the face to face, you know? For me, I think it wasn't that difficult for you because you weren't going to be there anyways. True. But for me, I did feel like, could have missed that moment. But there's still other
things, or that's the only thing our parents, I guess, were willing to do online.
Yeah, everything else.
For members and everything, they're like, nah, you guys need to come back, which makes sense, you know. So yeah, like Thendo said, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We will see you next time.
Phephisa shami. Okay. Mara ngisho ukhali njembe zokujabula ngisho.
Shota ngemali yamalobola. Shota ngemali yamalobola. Ey. Vele sosala si.